What struck me as a great opportunity and the great resources of communication studies as a field was its expansiveness and the willingness of the faculty to think about rhetoric in ways that were very much broader than typical in speech communications. I first came to Ohio University in 1990 as assistant professor of interpersonal communication, and I was hired to be part of the rhetoric program. And I was tremendously grateful to my colleagues in interpersonal communication in particular, who saw that my background in rhetoric, and especially in rhetorical theory, and the kind of research that I did in humor really was research in the rhetoric of humor and the rhetoric of popular culture, and that they were willing to embrace that more expanded idea of rhetoric and incorporate it into the program. The School of Communication Studies has human communication as its purview, which is, of course, huge. It embraces the way in which rhetoric helps constitute culture. And of course, there's a social dimension to that many of my colleagues who do work in the social sciences, both qualitative and quantitative, study. But I work in the area where I'm looking at the expressions of communication, rhetorical expression, and the way that it both reflects and contributes to the development of culture. Rhetoric has a long history of intervention in public life. And I do think that it's very important in the rhetorical courses that I teach that I remind students of the civic dimensions of rhetoric, that we're not just preparing them for careers, but we're preparing them to live their lives in a democratic society where they have an opportunity not only to choose their leaders, but also to think carefully and to critique what their leaders have to say. And in class, we share experiences and we try to create knowledge together through their own understandings. And that's the mode I tend to use in my graduate classes, where I do believe that students need to take ownership of their education. And the best way for me to do that is to create the platform for learning while recognizing that learning happens in the student's mind, not in my mouth. So I want to equip them to be active learners in that way. I was really quite thrilled to learn that I had been named a distinguished professor. And I must say, considering my history as a scholar and as a faculty member, it struck me as something of a miracle. So I'm grateful for my students who have honored me and allowed me to teach them and allowed me into their lives. But I'm also extremely grateful to my colleagues in the School of Communication Studies, because if they had not welcomed me and if they had not sustained and supported me, I wouldn't be here. So I'm extremely grateful. And to be one of only 4 women who've received this designation is particularly meaningful to me, because there are many, many, many talented women on this faculty. And so I'm very honored to be one of a very few, and I hope there will be many more distinguished professors at Ohio University after me.